Peace, everyone. Welcome to the Speaker's Room Live. I'm Evolve Benton, the Speaking for Profit coach, and I am pumped up and excited about today's conversation. We are going to be talking a little bit about strengths and a little bit about weaknesses. But before we get into our conversation, if you're listening now, just put hashtag live in the comments. If you're listening in the near and dear future, put hashtag replay. As you all know, I like to do the Speaker's Room Live as an opportunity to bring in some of the clients I'm working with and to talk about the amazing projects they're working on. So this client I'm going to be bringing in today, Kyle, he actually has a really, really cool practice that I'm really excited to share with you all. And the reason that I'm so excited about it is the opportunity for us to really be able to talk about what does it mean to grow as an entrepreneur and to truly be able to see measurable results. So I had an opportunity to do a VIP day with Kyle, and I'm excited to bring him in so that we can talk a little bit about what is this VIP day? What does it mean to know about your strengths? What does it mean to know about your weaknesses? And how does that grow your income and your impact as a speaker and a consultant? So, Kyle, I'm going to bring you to the front. Hey.
Hello. Happy Monday, everybody. So good to be here and sharing space with you today.
Definitely. Welcome to the space. So, y'all, I know y'all might hear Kyle's dogs, and that's okay because y'all already know we are a dog family over here at S4P. You have heard my dog Ashby several times. So just know that that we might have a speaking for profit animals at some point because all of our animals seem to always want to get to the stage. So, Kyle, tell folks a little bit just about what you kind of speak about in the speaking world and why you're so passionate about strengths.
Yeah. So, as Evolve says, I work with strengths. Strengths is a place that I've loved to be, and I continue to find the most value from because what we're doing is we're continuing to look at the things that we do best and using that as a way to like get a hint for where we are going and how we're going to be able to really repeat this for ourselves instead of focusing on these areas where we feel drained, we feel like we don't have energy. We're focusing on those things that give us life and continue to propel us forward. This is really like, I think, that abundant mindset that Evolve always talks about, that we always talk about within our community. We're creating abundance for ourselves and also empowering our friends, our families to do that for themselves too, by living into our strengths and using that as an opportunity to move forward.
Definitely. And you know what, Kyle? I was so surprised when I did my VIP day with you because I didn't realize how detailed it was going to be. It was things that I thought I knew about myself, and as you knew during our time, I was like, "Wow, I didn't realize like some of the things that I was considering a weakness were actually strengths of mine as an entrepreneur." And also just the language that was utilized. I love that we did the survey and it had its own language, but every time we went through a point, you said, how would you describe it? And I thought that
Mhm.
that was just so consensual and so helpful because I can imagine when people are talking about their strengths and weaknesses, a lot of judgment comes up, right? So,
Oh yeah.
can you tell folks a little bit about if they were to sign up for one of these VIP days? And I know that this is one of your new offers. What are some of the things or some of the results that you've seen from some of the folks you work with afterwards? And what does that experience feel like when you are actually in the VIP day?
Yeah, I really think of this VIP day kind of as like it's an incubator for yourself in this moment because what we're doing is we're building language for ourselves to talk about ourselves in a kinder, more compassionate way. So it's not just about, oh, like I can hit these metrics, I can do these things, but it's a kind, compassionate way to understand what you do when we're part of this VIP day, what like you said, Evolve, like really this is all about you. I think like any assessment is great. It's wonderful. And I think the results, they're cute. They're wonderful. But what we're doing is we're taking these assessments, these results that are written for the mass, and we're applying it for you, for yourself, because there's so much more freedom when we can take what's written in these reports and figure out like what does this actually mean for me. I really think of it like when you get your results, it's like you're looking in a lake in a lake, there are little ripples along the way. So like there are some things that are spot on, and there are some things that they're just like a little off. It's a little not there. And what we're doing is we're working to like smooth it out so that you can have a clear understanding of what you're doing best. And I think that one of the big things that people talk about after these VIP days is having this intentional approach to designing their day, how they're structuring their work so that they have energy, how they're figuring out what do I actually spend my time on, whether that is like associated with your strengths, if we're looking at your weaknesses and trying to avoid those, or if we're strategically approaching your weaknesses in a way that they bring life to you. Because like weaknesses, I think they're such a hot topic and a thing that we want to spend time on, but ultimately what we're doing is we're trying to replicate and continue to use your strengths.
Yes, I love that. And I love that the focus on weaknesses wasn't about it being a negative thing, right? It was about, okay, well, how do we kind of move around that? Or how do we use them? Or
Mm-hmm.
how do we use our strengths more? And I think that the way that I plan to use this practice, number one, I use it in my everyday, because, at the end, when we work together, you're like, what type of schedule would you like to have? And that just shifted even the way that I work. So now I front load a lot of like the more challenging things, because I understand that my strength is like really being intentional and being able to be focused, that command that we kind of talked about. But a lot of that is energetic for me. So I feel very much in that before I have conversations with other people. So when it comes to things where I have to make decisions, I'm like, okay, let me do that at the beginning of the day before I start getting distracted, have other people's conversations in my mind before I get on any strategy calls. So that's been very helpful. But also I can see it as a future thing that I use for when I hire my staff, right? When I see the weaknesses or the things that maybe I'm not that strong in, I can definitely hire a staff member and maybe even have them do a strength a day with you, a VIP day with the team, right? To really figure out who would be a great fit. So it was so powerful, and I'm just really excited about it. So Kyle, I always want to know about the history of things, right?
Oh
And I
yeah.
believe that this practice that you have is, yes, it's something for entrepreneurs, but it felt very healing for me. I do believe it is a healing practice. So, how did you get into the practice of strengths and weaknesses? And did you do it on yourself first? Tell us a little bit about your origin story.
Yeah, I mean, like the OG, like the original moment of spending time with strengths was in college. I had a supervisor, and she said, "We're taking this assessment, this test," and I was like, "Ooh, cute! Like this is great." We were doing like all the like Facebook like Myers Briggs tests, like which Harry Potter character are you? And so I was like, "Yes, give me my next Harry Potter character," and I got the results, and I was like, these words, whatever that means. And then I like denied it right away. And then as I started reading through it, I was like, excuse me, like, were you in my like bedroom last night? Like, as I was talking to my friends, or like, were you at dinner the other day? Like, that's how do you know that I say these things? And like, used it for a little while and then left it for years. As like, I feel like happens with a lot of assessments. And this is what I find with a lot of my clients is that they've taken the assessment years ago. They know about it. They said, wow, that's really cool. And what we're coming back here for is it's about like actually implementing it. And so I started implementing this, what I think like started really like using it for myself about 4 years ago. I was in a job that it was it was like we've all been there, a job that was not a good fit. It wasn't doing well for me. And I was like, I also had like just gotten this job and I had this mindset that I was keeping it. We're going to figure out how to do it. And so I was like, we're going to lean into my strengths. And so I used my strengths to structure my day so that had things that I loved doing in the beginning. I used my strengths so that when I had meetings, I played a role that I actually enjoyed doing. And I could really talk about, yes, this is something that I do really well. And found that it helped like for a long time. It helped me make it through this tough time. And then
Mm.
when I started my business, I knew that strengths was a thing that I wanted to do. So I got a strength certification. And at first, I just thought I was teaching people about how strengths worked and was just going to do like organizational trainings. And that was great. And then I started to realize that, like, I think with all entrepreneurs, like, we're in a place where eventually we need to take our own medicine. And so I started doing it for myself. And I started to understand, like, what does this actually look like for me? How do I make it so that my business doesn't burn me out? Because especially in the solopreneur role that I have right now, like I need to do it all. Everything needs to get done eventually. And so it's like there are moments where I'm going to have to engage with my weaknesses. So how do I approach it from a place of strengths instead?
Mm. And you know what's been so refreshing about working with you, Kyle, is like really seeing you develop this offer and put it into a position where it's going to serve entrepreneurs. I think that there's so many offers out there for entrepreneurs to learn how to make more money, for them to learn how to like market, right? And I think that you can use this practice you're teaching to amplify some of those things. But this really works with the entrepreneur's mindset, and I think that so much of our work as solo entrepreneurs, as CEOs, right, is connected to the way that we think about ourselves and we think about our business. So I'm a big, I'm big on sustainability first, right? I'm that coach. I'm also big on the way that you think about yourself and your business first. And I feel like these VIP days are going to give entrepreneurs an opportunity to really look at the mindset and how they can shift that to really make them successful, right? Like, and that's why, in the description of this video, folks who are watching now or later, I said this is going to help you increase your impact and your income. Because if you're able to know the things that you're really great at in your mind, not about typing some things up. I'm not talking about the data collection you're doing or the ads that you just put up on Facebook, but your mind and the way you look at yourself and your business and the things that you might be challenged with. How much can you really grow from that? Right. So much of our income is not growing because of our mindset. So many of the people that we could impact, we're not in contact with because of our mindset, right? And if you're a type of person who struggles with a little bit of ADHD or anxiety like I do, a lot of that is because sometimes we're often tapped into our weaknesses and not tapped into our strengths enough. So I'm just so appreciative of this, Kyle.
Yeah, no, and I mean, like even like you said, like this is or this first and foremost, this VIP day strengths is not about like magically like 5 times, 200 times your income. Like what we're talking about is that sustainability piece. We're talking about time freedom. We're creating opportunity for you to really exist because I think so many of us like when we first start our business, we had a coach that gave us a formula. You do X, Y, Z, and it gets you there. And that's great. But this is really for entrepreneurs that like we have made it past that. Like, first, we've made money, we've used somebody else's formula, and now we're using your formula. We're using your method to unlock your potential. We're figuring out what you're like down the road after you do this initial VIP day. You start to figure out what's your marketing strategy. What's your flow that you have day to day out? What are those systems that are supporting you? And really tapping into you, like your own intuitive wisdom to make this work.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much because you're so right. We learn a particular business model, right? And one of my coaches that I signed up with first, his name is Andrew Carosi, and he's amazing. But he actually ended up selling his business the first year I was in it with him. And he talks about it now in his marketing that he burnt himself out. That's why he had to sell his business. He burnt out, he couldn't take care of it. And if you've seen him on the outside, you would have thought everything was going well. He was a millionaire. I mean, he still is, right? And he made millions of dollars in his business, but he was extremely unhappy, extremely burnt out, not eating, not sleeping, right? So we don't want to just look rich on the outside, y'all. We want to look rich on the inside. We want to be wealthy on the inside, right? We don't want to just like give this picture. And sometimes I feel like entrepreneurs can get so caught up in marketing, right? That we only market the good, but there's something in marketing also the challenges, the weaknesses, right? And that's another thing that, after that day with you, I was like, this is some of the stuff I want to share with my community. I want them to know about some of my weaknesses because if you're able to see that someone who's doing as well as I am, or another entrepreneur who's doing amazing, has the ability to be transparent with you about that, that'll make all of us so much better as entrepreneurs. So, Kyle, I know you have an event coming up where you're going to give people a little bit of a taste of the VIP days. Can you tell folks a little bit about your event and what we can expect from that?
Yeah. So on Thursday, I'm going to be hosting a masterclass around mastering your weaknesses. Like Weaknesses, I see those as like the number one thing that hold us back from reaching our potential. It's the thing that pulls us away from where we actually want to spend our time. And like we've long been taught that the weaknesses are the things that are gonna, like, if we can get better at those weaknesses, everything will be great. And so we're going to be talking about strategies about like how do you actually master and work with your weaknesses. I think this is one of those high value things that like it's going to make an impact on what you do in your day to day. And so we're going to have this little or like this mini master class on this topic and talking about implementing it for yourself and your business.
Okay, great. And that's this Thursday. So that's October 6th, right?
Yep, we'll be doing it October 6th at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. I'll drop the link in the comments when we are done with this today.
Okay, perfect. And is it free? Do folks have to pay? How does it work?
We're living in the place of abundance this week. It's free. All that's going to be is signing up, and I'll be sharing some information with you afterwards about how you can get in on this VIP day and other things. There's a lot of great content that I share. I do a bi-weekly blog, and as well as offer like regular like mini coaching moments through my email. So I like to think it's a pretty good deal for you.
Yes, y'all. So y'all better come and get some of this free game, right? And just as a reminder, we're also hosting the Six-Figure Consultant Masterclass right after. So you can just
Right.
have a full afternoon of learning, right? Go to this free session, then come over to the masterclass and get your tips on how to make 100K multiple times in a year. This could be a day in your
It
business that
is. I know,
literally
right?
changes your life. A day in your business that literally will change your life. Like I sign up for so many free trainings just to be able to see the masterfulness of people speaking about their offer and their product. There's something just about being there, right? So even if you're a person and you're like, I ain't got no weaknesses, right? Because I know we got some ego driven entrepreneurs out there, right? Maybe you're like, this ain't for me. It might be for you, right? So sign up, at least sign up so that you're on the email list and you can get some of those newsletters and really start doing some of that self-development work with Kyle. So before you go, Kyle, I would love for you to just share with us a little bit about where do you see this side of your business going in the next 3 to 5 years? Like, what's your ultimate goal? And then
Mm.
who's your ideal client? Who's the person that you would love to work with?
Yeah, no, I mean, I, if you know me, I'm an ideas person. I'm always dreaming of what could be. And so I think that like down the road, what this transforms into is this is like one piece of helping entrepreneurs figure out the future of their business. This is helping to do strategic planning for what's coming up 3 months, 6 months, a year, 5 years down the road. And so I think that this is one piece of that overall product that's really helping people like get a hold of the future of their business. When I think of like who my ideal clients are, the people that are really going to get the most out of this, um, I know I said before, a lot of my clients have taken the strengths assessment before. You don't need to have taken it before. Even if this is the first time that you've heard of it, you're still going to get high value out of this. But we are people who are really ready to like take that next step in our business. You've done that work that your coach has taught you before, you've followed that recipe before, and now you're ready to be the head chef. You're ready to say, like, I'm ready to sprinkle some paprika, give me some flaky sea salt on top, and that's the good stuff. So you're ready to sprinkle, like, put your own recipe, your own process into place and figure out like what does your business actually look like, what is your strategy that's really grounded and centered in you, so that this can feel fulfilling. It can feel like this is not just another chore. You're not replacing one 9 to 5 with another 9 to 5. We're hopefully maybe like just doing like a 2 days 9 to 5, or 3 hours a day, 5 hours a day, whatever feels good for you, your energy type. And we're making it so that this continues to be sustainable for you. This is for people that want to keep their business going. They want to figure out what is actually going to take them to the next level, and not just following somebody else's their strategy. We're talking about your strategy, we're talking about your strengths, and we're talking about the things that are going to make a difference for you and your clients down the road.
Definitely super powerful. I'm so excited about this. So, Kyle, one thing that I wanted to share with you is that number one, I'm proud of you. right? Because I know that it could be challenging doing work with entrepreneurs. I mean, I talk to entrepreneurs every day, and we've got some scary stuff. We've got some scary stories, right? Like there's some folks who are very resistant. And the fact that you're kind of going into the fire with folks is just so, so helpful. And I'm very proud of you for doing that. But I'm also proud of you for making it a day, right? We have so many offers, y'all, that people will tell you, I got to work with you for 12 weeks. I got to work with you for 8 weeks. I got to work with you for 9 months. And we even have an offer like that, right? At S4P, we work with you for 6 months because it takes time for you to have that kind of success. But literally, y'all, I did this VIP day with Kyle, a few hours in one day, and I got information that will change my life and my business, and it will continue to do that. And when you sign up for one VIP day, I guarantee that you'll want to sign up for multiple to see how you're growing and developing, right? So this isn't a push for you to sign up for a VIP day, but this is a push for you to go to this master class with Kyle so that you can at least have a little bit of an intention around what are your weaknesses and what are ways that you can strategize around that, right? Remember, we can't run away from these things. It's better for us to know them before one of our clients pulls it out for us, right? Or before we end up burning down our business because of one of them, right? So why not be aware of it? Why not have a little bit more of reality? So, Kyle, anything you want to share with folks before we head out? Because we got coaching later on, and we got to get ready for that space.
One, if you've been here this whole time and you've been listening to my sister's dog bark, everybody was quiet beforehand. We were all peaceful. So thanks for dealing with this. That's Fennel who's talking in the background. She's like, yeah, strengths are the best. Like, you should do it. To just want to like reiterate, like the VIP day format, the reason why it works in this case is because these are things that already are deeply a part of you. They're things that naturally happen. And so we're just tapping into you. We're tapping into what you do best and bringing out more of that.
Mhm. Definitely. Well, Kyle, thank you so much for being here. Fennel, thank you for being here as well. We really appreciate you. Y'all, we are going to put the link to this masterclass into the comments right after we get off of here so that you can go on and get registered for that. Thank you all for being here at the Speakers Room Live. Again, if you're listening in the future, just put hashtag replay into the comments so that we can know that you've been around and you've watched this video. And until next time, I hope you all are being abundant. I hope that you're creating impact with your voices. And of course, I hope that you're increasing your income. Peace.